now is doing in San Antonio. And what do those places have in common? They're both small market teams. Also, wouldn't be completely surprising. This is all still on the table, but we may see this out of Salt Lake City with the Will Hardy, the new coach there. Donovan Mitchell, Donovan Mitchell, I had it right, and Rudy Gobert.
Right.
If we turn around and see one or both of those guys moving for serious draft capital, now you have Oklahoma City, San Antonio, Salt Lake City, and meanwhile Sacramento is sitting here wanting to sit at the big boys table, but without the credentials to do so.
Haven't been able to figure out how to get there.
No, it's just it's another example when we want to talk about how did we get here, why are we here, and how long are we going to be here. Just simply look at all of that and realize this is how this team operates, and this is how successful teams operate in other states and in other markets. Tis what it is, what it is. The Kings cleansed their free agency palette a little bit, or at least prepared it with some roster moves. We'll pick you up on those roster moves and also where you can see some of the newest Kings in action very, very soon. We'll do that next.
For a combined 50 years. The Carmichael Dave Show with Jason Ross on Sacktown Sports 1140.
E40 bringing us back. Carmichael Dave, Jason Ross, Jay Mars. 1-800-920-1140, 916-339-1140. I want to thank the 1, 2, 3 texters at 916-339-1140 for thank you for correcting me on the last break, letting me know that was System of a Down with Chop Suey and not Rage Against the Machine. Thank you. Literally maybe my favorite bit. That's why it's my favorite bit. Yes. Thank you. Thank you for the correction. Always mix them up.
Oh, always.
I mean, System of a Down, Rage Against the Machine, basically the same band, right?
Yes.
Yes.
Same guys.
Okay, quickly before we go, Rage Against the Machine, what's the opposite?
Happiness in alignment with the
Nature.
manual labor. Doesn't roll off the tongue.
No. Neither did Dante DiVincenzo, apparently.
More like Dante DiVincenzo.
Yeah, he was defensive about playing here, maybe.
Yeah. So, no offer to Dante.
Mm-hmm.
We theorized earlier that maybe it's because he didn't want to re-sign because they were mad about his minutes towards the end of the year. I think that makes as much sense as anything. But you do hope this is part of other moves. They did make the Kings some roster moves yesterday. Neemias Queta is going to come back.
Mm-hmm. All right.
Yeah.
Second round pick.
Yeah.
Project kind of player.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
He's on the Summer League squad.
Chimezie Metu. Good for him. He gets his deal guaranteed. I don't know the words I'm looking for. This is nothing against Queta or Metu. I'm actually glad Mezzi got his deal. And same, Neemi Queta seems like a super fun guy. Like, you like them both. And there's potential there. Yeah, I'm not, this isn't one of those, they're not good. But I like, somebody said to me yesterday, and I don't know, it's been rolling around in my dumb hollow head for the last day. I said, it just seems like the Kings make moves to make moves, but none of them, like, how are we improving?
Yeah. There's so many pieces that are back from last year from a team that wasn't good enough.
Right.
I mean, that's the most simplistic way to say it. And to think it'll be better, I think there's some natural things to think it'll be better just because you have Sabonis for a full year with Fox.
Yeah.
Okay. But is that 3 wins better?
But
5 wins better?
Why do I remember like this time 2 years ago? Wasn't our thing like there's another year for Halliburton and Fox to mesh?
Right.
And I'm not immune to the idea that stability and chemistry is almost like adding a player. There is something to having a stable,
right?
A full training camp, and Fox is coming back, and Sabonis now is coming back, and maybe Harrison Barnes. But really, you're only going to have 40 to 60% of your starting lineup back, so there is going to be some turnover.
I mean, the biggest new piece, obviously, is Keegan Murray.
Yeah. And that's
but he's a rookie.
He's a rookie.
Yeah.
And I mean, that's assuming he starts, which I assume he will start. But it's just like a color by numbers situation where, and again, that's no offense to Neemi Queta, or this isn't about Queta or Metu, and good for them. It's just, again, okay, well, here's, we have to have this roster filled out. We'll bring this guy, this guy, that. Yeah.
It feels like, to your point, like they're roster fillers, though they are capable NBA players, and if put in a spot, sure, they could contribute. But when you look at some of the playoff teams, the better teams, there's just more high-level talent or more of that next tier filling that roster.
I get the depth argument. I do. But it's just, we don't want to write off the season before it starts. But, again, you really, really hope Monty has something up his sleeve. And, unfortunately, too many times over the years, we've all been dragged down the road of, well, he's probably got something up his sleeve, and it ends up being arm hair. Like, that's all that's up the sleeve. And that's not on Monty. That's on any member of the front office, not named Jeff Petrie. The Kings began practices yesterday for the California Classic.
Right.
And also Las Vegas. The Summer League roster is in place. Keegan Murray, amongst others, will be playing.
Again, it's Summer League, but the Kings have title to defend.
They do.
That's going to be – the roster is not stacked.
No, it's not, is it?
No. And it doesn't – I mean – look, it's about player improvement. The people that are likely going to be on the Kings are Murray, obviously, and Queta.
Yes.
So those are the two to watch. But when you've had other summers where maybe there was more impactful players, but, to me it's a lot about watching Keegan Murray. What's he look like?
Yeah, that's really, honestly, I mean, it'd be fun to defend the title.
Sure.
I mean, we're already the only team that's won 2 Summer League titles.
Yes.
Big deal. And
when's our parade?
Yeah, exactly. Did we have a parade last year? We did not.
No.
We should have at least had like a cha-cha or something, like a shuffle, a hokey-pokey.
Right.
But yeah, it is all about watching Keegan Murray, and that's all that really matters. And we'll be down there for you as well. We're going to have Frankie and friends down there starting Friday, the day Summer League opens up, and they're going to be taking video and sending all kinds of clips back for you. So we'll have some sneak previews of that. You'll be down there Friday as well. I'll join on Sunday for Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday's programs live from Summer League. Want to remind you can get that coverage at sacktownsports.com and Sacktown Sports 1140's coverage of the 2022 NBA Summer League brought to you by Power Business Technology. Find them online at powercopiers.com. So, I don't know. I got nothing, Jason. I got nothing.
As far as...
here we are. Made a couple of roster moves yesterday.
Right.
One that is upsetting to some people.
Yeah.
We're going into Summer League. I would just really like to... I'll go, okay, you know what's really bothering me today is I was at Golden One Center yesterday. And it's the first time been reunited with a lot of the people very behind the scenes when it comes to building the arena, getting the arena deal done.
Right,
City people, and
yes.
I'm talking about like the people that like helped with tax code and like CEQA and like real behind the scenes that get
stuff that has to be done, but that's not like no one understands.
Not sexy.
Yeah.
And these people are heroes and deserve credit, and nobody could pick them out of a lineup because what they did was air quotes boring, but the deal doesn't get done without them. So anyways, it was really cool for a function that was happening, and it was really cool to see a lot of people. And then at one point it was just so sad because we were recounting like what a win it was and how unprecedented it was to not have the team relocate and then know that the arena was getting built. And then, thinking, okay, well, we'll spend these last few years at Arco getting ready, and then we blow out the first year of Golden One Center, making the playoffs, and we started. And when did Golden One, 2015, 16?
So it's already 6 seasons.
Years.
Yeah.
We are 6 seasons into the
Isn't that
opening
crazy?
of Golden One Center. 6 seasons.
Yeah.
Wait, so 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 20. So are we going into the 7th?
Yes.
And obviously, COVID.
Right.
We're going into the 7th season of having this new arena, and we are last in attendance.
It's that, to me, that's sad.
Yeah.
It's in the 6 seasons, I would say, this is awful, but I think the biggest game we felt like wasn't like the New Orleans game that got shut down because of COVID.
Yes. That was a huge game.
Okay, there was like 20-something games to go. Like the Kings the last 2 years have kind of been in the wink play-in race, but by the last 2 weeks they're out. So like there hasn't been that, oh my gosh, Friday night, Kings, fill-in team. This is the biggest game in this arena.
Yeah.
We haven't. I mean, we've had an opener. Openers are always fun.
Openers are great. Not a big game, though.
But, okay, Lakers are here. The
One of
champs
82.
are here, whatever.
Right.
None of those. And what I do remember about just that, what's taking me back to what you're talking about is I remember being on the air, obviously you were too, that like the value of having this team stay, the value of building the arena. And in my mind, I could vision, like, this is going to be great downtown.
Yeah.
It's better.
It's better.
It's like, hey, you don't understand how this is going to revitalize, how the arena is going to be like new amenities. It's better than I even thought. And yet the team just hasn't walked step in step with the arena and with the goals and with the people pushing to make it there. And all it takes is to start winning, but obviously they haven't been able to make that leap.
No, and we're on the precipice of going into summer, going on to a new season. And again, I'm very aware that people want to escape and you don't want to tune in and listen, oh, it's so sad and downer and this and that, but it's better. I just can't ethically, in my conscience, give people false hope that I don't believe in. And maybe I'm wrong. I hope I'm wrong. I hope you're wrong. I hope the Kings, the NBA literally changed the playoff rules and we still can't get in.
Yeah.
Like they literally changed the rules and added play-in games and we can't get in. Now we're going into the 7th year. Like, how inept do you have to be to go into the 7th year? You have a brand new arena. And by the way, when that arena opened, came like a ton of brand new season ticket holders, a bunch of new contracts, a bunch of new, and I think there was like 2-3 year deals on those two. So you had this like built-in season ticket fan base. How inept do you have to be on the basketball side of things? How inept do you have to be last in attendance? Like the Sacramento Kings are last in the NBA in attendance. And somebody I'm sure is screaming out right now, no, they aren't Toronto. No. Toronto was Canada and COVID, dude. They'd be 15, 14, 13.
Right.
It's a Sacramento Kings, and they're brand new arena. It's like at least the A's, if you think about it, the A's have an excuse. Their arena is terrible.
And there's a legit threat that they're leaving.
Yeah, like
the Kings are here. They're
There's
not going anywhere.
no chance
Right.
that the Kings are leaving. In the next 25 years.
Right.
And they have a brand new sparkly. If you build it, they won't come. If you're not winning.
If you win, they will.
The levels of ineptitude, and the thing is that almost everyone has been fired. Almost everyone has been fired. Yet here we are, and to think it's going to improve when you have the same decision makers in place at the top, to me, is the definition of insanity. Much like paying way over sticker for a new truck. Why would you do that when you have a place like Hoblet? The 4th of July, Chrysler's 4th of July sales event going on right now. Save up to $11,500 off MSRP on new 2022 Ram 1500 Bighorn quad caps. There's over 200 Rams available, including hard-to-find heavy duty. Save up to $4,000 off MSRP on the new 2022 Jeep Grand Cherokees. Hoblet is Jason's dancing, and so is Jay now. That's great. The number one Ram truck dealer in California, third in the entire United States. And if they don't have your truck, which I doubt because they have such a massive selection, use the inbound sold list. Secure your perfect truck. If it's not in stock, reserve one along the way. Number one, J.D. Power's initial quality study. J.D. Power's customer service award winners, for excellence. That's a lot to say. They'll deliver your vehicle. They'll help you with financing. You can search, select, and save online at HobletDodge.com. No hassle, no pressure, ever dealership. Go to HobletDodge.com. Tell them Carmichael Dave sent you. All right, we'll catch you up on all the Kings rumors, including a possible reunion in the backcourt. We'll tell you who we're talking about next.
Hey, Check the game. From the Power Business Technology Toshiba Studios, KHTK AM and HD1 Sacramento, KYMX HD2 Sacramento. Sacktown Sports 1140. It's the Carmichael Dave Show.
He's on the microphone when he's not on the microphone. He's playing a song, and when he's not playing a song, he's on the microphone, and then boom.
With Jason Ross.
Jay, hey, my headset's
Text or call the show at 916-339-1140. It's the Carmichael Dave Show with Jason Ross on Sacktown Sports 1140.
Yeah, the drums too early. Ding, 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 ding. Nope. There we go. Rammstein. Yeah, one-hit wonder. They're going to be like Rammstein at Thunder Valley in 10 years. Popping in. They've got some good shows coming up at Thunder Valley. Kenny Loggins.
Yes.
Boys to Men. Not same show.
Oh.
No, Boys to Men is like Father MC, Boys to Men, Shy. Remember Shy?
Yeah. Remember Father MC?
I do remember Father MC. Married Mother MC.
Did he?
And they had
They
MC
finally
Hammer.
tied the knot.
Yeah, they had MC Hammer, exactly. They tied the knot finally. All right,
Then they had a child, young MC.
Positive K and Special Ed still with us.
I believe so.
I think so too. Which one was the one that did I Got a Man?
Positive K.
Was it Positive
Yeah, it's
K?
Positive K.
I Got a Man. I'm not trying to hear that. See? Did you? I found
What's your
that-
man got to do with me?
But okay, so remember how he's going back and forth, and there's like, so he's rapping, and then the girl would rap
Yes.
back and all that. I found this out like literally 72 hours ago. He did both parts.
He did?
Yes, confirmed. He did the male and the female part on that song. Mind blown. Look it up. It's on the internet. It's got to be true.
Oh, okay.
But no, it really is. Welcome back. 916-339-1140 is your talk to text. I'm going to start doing this, by the way. Welcome into 23 minutes of commercial-free sports talk. I'm going to have like one little live read in there, but no commercial breaks.
That's technically a commercial, so you just lied to the audience.
That's a
but it's
live
fine.
read. It's a message from a sponsor. We're going to talk about United Wholesale.
So there are commercials.
Yeah. Just saying. No,
We don't go away.
No breaks. We're not leaving. It's nonstop us talking for the next almost half an hour. We'll get to 3 for Madness in 13 minutes. From the text line, guys, new arenas are only good for so long. To bring in a fan base, you have to finally put a winning product on the floor or field to sustain that attendance.
Also, new arenas can only be new for so long.
We're
We're going to be calling it the new arena in like 2046.
What's the cutoff? A decade? 15 years?
I think 5, honestly.
You're telling me Gold One Center's not a new arena anymore?
It's dilapidated. Time for a new one.
I can't get behind that, dude.
It's still new, dude. 5 years. If you live in the city and haven't been yet, like you're purposely avoiding it.
Yeah, dude. Gold One Center. I'm sorry. I'm saying a decade. First 10 years, it's a new arena. I'm just saying. But
That's a long time.
Have we gotten past the part yet where Golden One Center sounds as or more normal than Arco?
Yeah.
We have, right?
Yeah.
I feel like I have too.
G1C, Golden One
G1C.
I'm
Center.
a power balance guy.
Yeah?
Yeah,
You
always
still
been.
holding out there?
Yes.
Holding out for a hero?
Yes.
Power balance. I saw somebody with one of those bracelets the other day.
No.
I did. I don't know if it was a power balance, but boy, did it look
Was
like
it some hipster that was just trying to be cool?
They were stable, though.
I saw somebody with a Club of 50 bracelet like a month ago from the old afternoon show. God, what was that, 10 years ago? They still have it. I'm like, God, that thing's got to have mold growing on it. There's like one person on the text line that'll remember that. The Kings are doing things, and they're mixed up in rumors. One of them being that they're looking at Malik Monk. Malik Monk, guard Lakers, but also the
He
former...
guards Lakers?
Yes, he does. The former backcourt mate of one De'Aaron Fox.
Yes, at Kentucky.
In Kentucky. Depending on what you could get. I mean, I don't know that Malik Monk.
Well, he's a free agent,
He is a free agent.
so there's no trade needed.
No. And I don't know what the market is for a Malik Monk. I can tell you he's 24. He won't be 25 until next February, so he's still relatively young. Obviously on the same timeline as a De'Aaron Fox.
Sure.
And what I think is exciting about a guy like Malik Monk is that he's a progressor. It's just a matter of how much further does he have to progress. And what I mean by that is 6.7 points, 8.9 points, 10.3, 11.7, and then last year 13.8. Those are his points per game throughout the years. His three-point shooting, 34, 33, 28, 40, 39. Last year he had career highs in assists, rebounds, points, and was 1 point off his career high in three-point percentage. And he had by 4% career high in field goal percentage. So you're seeing an acceleration.
Yeah, I have two questions on the Malik Monk rumor.
Yeah.
One being, your point is valid, though it's factual. That's happened.
Yes.
I don't know if it's a byproduct of just playing more.
I
mean, I can't parcel that out. I don't know. I mean, logic tells you, look, Chimezi Metu, if he's given 30 minutes next year,
sure,
he will have career high numbers.
Sure.
Guarantee it.
To your point, he had a career high in minutes played last year by 7 minutes.
Yeah, and I did not know this until looking it up, that he only started one game in Charlotte in 4 years. That doesn't matter. He can be a bench player and be a role and have a role. Started a bunch last year for the Lakers.
37 games last year.
So I don't know how to separate that, but factually he did get better every year, and that's what you want. The second question is he just straight up better than Dante DiVincenzo? My gut is telling me no, but I don't know what you think about that.
Here's the problem, Jason.
There's certain things he does better.
Right.
But I don't feel like he is.
Here's the caveats. Number one, we don't know, and we posed the question earlier, hey, it might be a situation where Dante doesn't even want to come back.
Right.
Here. And he said he was
a moot point anyway.
Here.
Right.
That's a whole different conversation. Secondly, Dante DiVincenzo, as you pointed out so smartly, started on a championship team. Is still relatively young, fits in that the air quotes timeline, and was coming off a really bad injury. Like, he was never right last year. But beyond that, I've had more than a few people that have said, hold on, guys, why are we freaking out over Dante DiVincenzo?
Right.
Have you actually looked at Dante DiVincenzo and look at what he has or hasn't done? He averaged, whatever points and rebounds last year. Like what why do we care? And I think that's part of what we've been screaming about for the last couple years is, okay, well, DiVincenzo, he averaged 10 points and 4 boards and 3.5 assists. Ooh, he shot 36%. Ugh. We have to get away as Kings fans from looking at points, rebounds, and assists. Right. I understand that those are very important statistics. But for this team, for me, what was very attractive about Dante DiVincenzo was his ability to play defense, his commitment to defense, his commitment to rotations and accountability, and the idea that there were times where, when needed, you could match up and put DiVincenzo and Davion Mitchell in the backcourt, and now all of a sudden you have a really good, well above average defensive backcourt on a team that lacks defense. Said it for years. If we had everyday stats, and we do, but if they were out there more publicly on, for example, how many points, like subtract the amount of points a player gives up from the amount of points he scores, and you're going to get a much better look at who that is. This team is terrible on defense.
Yeah, and that's why, to me, when you're looking at this specifically as a starting two, likely for the team to fill this spot, if we feel comfortable saying Sabonis, Murray, Barnes, Fox are the other 4 starters, now you're looking at fit. So I think, what does this team need? Shooting, athletic ability, athleticism, defense. And, likely you're not going to get that in one player to fill all the needs, but can you hit a couple things? Monk's a good shooter. I like those shooting metrics.
Yes.
Free throw shooting, 3-point shooting. I think DiVincenzo, and again, I don't know the defensive breakdown metrics here, but just everything instinctually tells me that DiVincenzo is the better defender.
The numbers, the numbers lay it out. The numbers support that argument.
That he's better defensively?
Yes.
So, what weighs more important? And then the other part, and until we know this factually, I think you're onto something here. Does Dante's camp not even want to be here?
That's
so, like, we could be arguing, like, why aren't you signing Dante? If they don't want to be here, that's a thing. But if it's not that, now you're making decisions on who you think is best for your team. Again, this is a rumor on Malik Monk. Mm-hmm. That's a position they need filled.
When you look at, I'll throw this out here. when you look at, I'm going to go with the top 11 in points per game in the NBA last year.
Okay.
Number 1, the Minnesota Timberwolves.
Okay, teams. Got it.
Made the playoffs.
Mm-hmm.
Memphis Grizzlies, great year, made the playoffs. Bucks.
Yep.
Hornets.
Okay, missed.
Suns.
Yep. Best
Hawks.
record.
Jazz.
Made it.
Spurs. Nets.
Made it.
Nuggets.
Made it.
Lakers.
Did not make it.
Okay.
So 3 teams didn't.
And some of the ones that made it, one and done. Barely made it, play-in, etc. Now let's go on defense.
Right. There's a big difference.
Celtics.
Yep.
Mavericks.
Yep.
Warriors.
So 3 teams, 2 in the finals, 1 in the Western Conference Finals.
That is correct. Heat.
Okay.
Cavs.
Also, conference finals.
Mm-hmm. Cavs, 44 and 38.
Yeah. Lost in the
We come to our first team that's below 500, the New York Knicks. They were 37 and 45.
That, to me, is Tibbs taking the air out of the ball, but they still are a good defensive team.
Raptors,
Okay.
48 and 34. Sixers,
Yep.
Suns,
Playoffs.
Jazz.
Yep. Playoffs.
Look at the differences. And it's not sexy. It doesn't stand out. It's tough to put on a poster. It doesn't show up that much in NBA 2K. I understand that the accessibility of team defense is nowhere near as fun. Playing defense is the eating your vegetables of the NBA. Playing defense is the body blows in boxing of the NBA. It's not sexy. It doesn't stand out, but it's incredibly important. So, yeah, when I look at DiVincenzo's going, it's not a big deal. And, hey, Malik Monk. It's like, okay, fine. And Malik Monk's a fine player. And I'd be okay with that. I would be. But I keep going back to one thing. Who's playing defense? It's not Sabonis. It's not Fox. It's not Barnes. Who's playing defense? Keegan? Sure. Okay. Anyway.
Mike Brown.
Give me 60 seconds here to talk about my friend Shelby. We're not going anywhere. Don't go anywhere. RefinanceWithShelby.com. Yeah, it's RefinanceWithShelby.com. This is one of the situations where offense is greater than defense. A lot of other realtors and mortgage people and everybody in that group, they'll have you playing defense. They'll wait for the bank to react. They'll wait for the appraisers to react. They'll wait for another offer to come in. That's not Shelby. Shelby is all offense. But it works in this case because he's going to get ahead of the game. If you're looking for a house, guess what? You're going to go around looking for a house with a pre-approval letter in your hand. Where the realtor and the sellers know that you might as well be holding that pre-approval letter. It's a lot more convenient and less heavy than carrying around a briefcase full of hundreds of thousands of dollars in cash, but it's the same effect. They know if they see a pre-approval letter from Shelby, you're pre-approved. Ain't nothing going to happen. The appraisers know that. The title companies know that. The realtors, most importantly, know that because then they can tell their clients, their sellers that, which is how you get ahead of the game when you've got multiple offers. If you're looking to purchase, it's a no-brainer to go with Shelby. Same thing with refinances. In this day and age, crazy rates going up and down and left and right, Shelby and everybody, United Wholesale Lending, can take you all over the place. Different banks. Find the right one for you, not a cookie-cutter one where you got to put the triangle square and the rectangle square. You know what I'm saying? That did not make any sense, but I think you get my point. RefinanceWithShelby.com. That's RefinanceWithShelby.com. NMLS number 279051. BRA number 0186434. And we're back here. Before we get to 3 for one other thing. John Collins, I continue to hear, is still in play for the Sacramento Kings. They're one of a handful of teams. The Hawks are very motivated to move him, especially after the deal they made yesterday. They're very much now lacking in draft capital. Having a chance to pick up some of that draft capital is there. We were looking yesterday at some possibilities, and these are just guesses, but possibilities. John Collins is a more attractive, I think. Not everybody agrees, but I think they're wrong. He's a more attractive all-around player for this team than Harrison Barnes. No offense to Harrison, but especially with Barnes on it expiring. You have the ability, if you were to go Barnes for Collins, just right there, to give them a good wing, a very serviceable wing, and a veteran, but also somebody who's going to make $18 million next year, whereas Collins is, and then expire. Collins is owed $100 million over the next 4 years. Now, do I think Barnes is enough to get Collins? Probably not. But I do think a potential move where it's like, okay, we'll go Barnes and Holmes. Again, filler, and Holmes needs a new spot. Be a nice compliment and backup to Clint Capella for Kevin Werder and John Collins. Mm-hmm. You're probably going to have to throw in some sort of a top 10, 20, 25 first-round pick type of thing there. But the Kings are definitely in the mix. Does that mean that there's something imminent, that it's going to happen, that it's more probable than not? No, but I would just seriously keep my eye and keep monitoring that situation. And the Kings have wanted John Collins for a long, long time, as we've told you about for a while. 3 for Madness starts right now.
3 questions, 3 answers. It's 3 for Madness on the Carmichael Dave Show with Jason Ross. Question 1.
Oh, boy. It's NBA free agency day. So that begs the question, over, under, Hoff. For a Kings free agent signing reported today.
So the over-under is set at 0.5.
Yes.
If we sign 1 and you took the over, we win.
Yes.
Anyone.
That is today.
But that's on the reported, right? Because then nothing's official.
Yeah, sure. We'll count report. We will count a Woj or Shams confirmation or Sam confirmation.
Yes.
We will count that as that, even though you can't technically do it. I'm just going to go with odds, and I'm going to take the under because, honestly, let's just be really honest. The history of the Sacramento Kings when it comes to free agency, number 1, is terrible. And number 2, when they do sign free agents, it's generally players that have been playing musical chairs with the NBA and are standing.
Scraping the bottom of the barrel.
It's, older players that need a boost.
Can I ask both of you guys, do you recall them announcing or a talking head or reporter announcing a free agency signing day, like first day for the Kings?
I don't in recent memory. I think you have to be, for the Kings, you have to be that team that has just so much cap space.
They don't.
And they don't. So
I feel like even when they have had cap space, though, it's like they don't ever sign anyone.
Or others are in that same camp. Like, they're not the 1 or 2 teams that are in. It's like 8 teams have cap space and they lose out.
The George Hill, Dwayne Dedmon, that wasn't first day, right? That wasn't
well into it.
They usually have to wait a little bit, see what's out there.
Did they make that trade, the Philly trade with JT and Landry for the cap space? Was that the first day?
That was early.
It was early. I don't remember if it was, first day early, but it was early.
I just had a deja vu or whatever it's called. Not a deja vu, but I just had a recollection of randomly flying up from Los Angeles.
Those are called nightmares, friend.
Mm-hmm.
Vlade and Scott Perry came on the plane. And I talked about this on the air. Vlade ends up coming over and sitting next to me. And it was like, I don't know a better term. This is going to sound stupid, but it was cute. He was so excited, and he was like, "You can't say anything. Don't you promise? You can't. I have to tell you, you cannot say anything." I'm like, "Yeah, my word." He's like, "We got George Hill." He was so over the moon. Like, talked about the process, the research, the whole thing. Like, and I couldn't. Part of the reason,
to be fair, George Hill was coming off a career year.
George Hill made so much sense.
He did.
It did, honestly.
And I don't. This isn't me ripping Vlade at all. Like, I was excited. I was like, "Oh my God, we got George Hill." Like, he was so, and he went through the whole recruiting process and everything, and it wasn't just George Hill. It was like he wanted to come here.
Yeah.
Like, we're turning it around. We've got some great young players and George Hill.
So George Hill was lied to, is what you're saying.
And
because that was George Hill's claim. It's like, dude, they told me we're going to be a playoff team, and we were like, George.
I know. And then Dwayne Dedmon, what a great fit.
He was a great fit.
What a great fit. I remember talking before in a show like this, hey, who should the Kings be going after? Dwayne Dedmon. That was one of the top picks we had of somebody who would fit. And then they get here and but it just sucks, man. So anyways, Victor Oladipo. That's a name to keep an eye on, by the way, too.
Well,
hold on a second. Now, if they end up getting Victor Oladipo, let's say
to play 10 games,
224, 230
to play 10 games,
and that's your replacement for DiVincenzo. You're not. No,
I'm angry.
You're angry.
I'm not angry about that one.
I'm not angry.
My face will turn red.
That one excites me a lot more.
Oladipo?
Yes.
All right.
Well, let's put it this way: true or false? There's more upside.
Sure.
So you would never take a player that's been hurt before?
I would take a player that's been hurt before, but like his injuries are bad. Like bad. Bad.
Is it maybe partially because you've been hurt before too?
We all have.
We all have.
Yeah.
Listen, but man, no one's been hurt like Victor Oladipo's been hurt.
I disagree with that, actually. I can think of a lot of people that have been hurt worse than Victor Oladipo.
Okay, we're not talking
in
about
the world.
Okay.
Ever. Number 2. Liar.
Question 2.
I'm just saying, if something runs over your foot today, I won't be angry. Will Greg Popovich coach a Spurs playoff team ever again?
You know, I know you love it when I addend to questions here, but here's the thing. Are we putting a timeline on like how long Pop will be around? For example,
We have no idea.
I don't know if he's going to retire next year.
Well, then the answer would be no.
But I do think the Spurs will be back in the playoffs within 3 years tops.
You do?
I do. I
Okay.
do. I do because I think they're doing it right. They're doing it exactly right. They're maximizing their assets. They understand that the next year is the lottery of all lotteries. It's a LeBron James, it's a Shaquille O'Neal. It's one of those, it comes around every 10, 12 years with the can't miss, oh my God prospect, and that guy is Victor Wembanyama. They're getting as many tickets as possible. They realize, listen, DeJounte Murray's great. He's going to be wasted here. We're not going to win. We'll eke into the playoffs with DeJounte Murray and friends. So we don't want to eke. Let's get rid of him. Let's get a huge haul. And they did 3 unprotected first-round picks, a pick swap. They're doing it right. And I do think Greg Popovich, why would he stick around for this? I think he'll coach a playoff team again.
My answer is no, but because I just don't know how long this process will take him. I get what they did. If you think about it, they did try to patch this though, and then now they've ripped the Band-Aid because it's been 3 years of not making the playoffs.
Yes.
Just over a year and a half ago, they still had DeRozan and LaMarcus Aldridge. They were trying to get to the playoffs.
Right.
They've been a 34, 33, and 32 win team the last couple of years.
I'm sorry, this is too good to not say. Pop retires. He still gets back to the playoffs before the Kings. Also, Victor Oladipo, in the last 4 seasons, has appeared in 5 more games than Marvin Bagley. So
he's more stable than Marvin, is what you're saying.
yes.
Good call. Yeah. Continue.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I just went to their next pick, 23, then like 25. Like they're not getting 5 picks, but if they get the 1, that's going to help them a lot. It's just, the cupboard's a little empty right now, but they're restocking it. Just like the Thunder, it's going to take them a while.
Yeah.
It's going to take the Spurs a while, but they'll do it.
I don't like your Oladipo stat.
I don't like your face, but I deal with it.
Wow. There's your madness. Number 3.
Question 3.
Sorry, that was uncalled for. And that was my anger speaking. Your face isn't that bad. That's disgusting. People use that microphone.
I didn't lick it.
Where does DeJounte Murray, Trae Young backcourt rank amongst the NBA's elite?
Off the top of my head, top 10.
Backcourts?
Yeah.
I think that's pretty easy, right?
Well,
Yeah, I was making a list.
all right. Jaylen Brown, Marcus Smart.
Yep.
I would put them ahead of.
I would too.
Okay.
Booker and
Chris Paul.
Yeah.
Yes. Obviously, Curry Thompson.
yep.
Yeah.
I would say Luka and anyone. Luka and Dinwiddie.
I know, right? Like,
I mean, honestly.
Yeah, no, you're actually okay. So that's 4.
Paul George and probably either Reggie Jackson or John Wall. I don't know.
Okay, so that's 5. John
That's
Morant.
close. That's a debate.
Brandon Ingram and Denver. No. Brooklyn.
He's right there.
Brooklyn.
Kyrie and Curry.
Kyrie. Yeah. Kyrie and Ben Simmons.
Are you putting him at the 2?
Yeah. Why not?
Okay. Or Kyrie at the 2?
Russ Westbrook and Malik Monk. No. Okay. Anthony Edwards and. Okay. I mean, it is Trae Young and DeJounte. That's
Right.
2 All-Stars.
They're great.
I'd say like right around 5.
Yeah.
5, 6.
really good backcourt.
4. Yeah, it's a
It's
very,
really good.
very good backcourt.
Yeah.
Got to have a front court too, though. Yeah.
And a middle court.
And a middle court.
Yeah.
We'll take a break. When we come back, Dante DiVincenzo is gone. But why? And what, if anything, is Monte McNair planning? What is he doing?
What are you
like
up
that.
to?
What?
Montavious.
Montavious Caldwell McNair. We'll get to that next.
Men.
Stimulating conversation about kitchen gadgets and baseball cards.
I think that's really crazy interesting.
It's the Carmichael Dave Show with Jason Ross on Sacktown Sports 1140.
You know what I'm curious about, but I don't know if I'm curious enough to do it again. So you'll remember 2 days ago around this time, put out the poll question, do you approve or disapprove of Monty McNair's job with the Kings thus far? I actually said thus car because, autocorrect. 3,000 votes. 76% approve.
Well done, Monty.
That's post-draft.
Yeah, well done.
Here's what I'm curious about. What happens if I put that poll out today? How much different is it?
Do you think the DiVincenzo qualifying offer significantly hits it?
I think the DiVincenzo, which is how we should call him, by the way, is
The DiVincenzo.
DiVincenzo. I think the DiVincenzo plus the nervousness in free agency. Seen a couple other moves. I'll bet you it knocks off under 10% off his approval rating.
Under 10.
You're going to go under 10.
And then whatever said move after that, does it elevate it back?
Whatever. It depends on the move.
Yeah.
But I'm saying I think it goes from 76 to 66 or less. And I'm asking you guys what you think. Jay says he'll take the over. He thinks it'll knock less than.
No, more than 10%.
Is that what you're saying, Jay? You think it'll knock more than 10% off?
No, less.
Yeah,
oh,
less.
I got you. I thought you said more. Okay.
You?
Yeah, less as well.
I'm going over.
Okay.
Approve? Disapprove? And
I think this should just be a daily exercise of do you approve or disapprove?
note that I don't ever, I rarely put out.
Get a whiteboard and just update the standings every day.
I rarely put out the do you approve or disapprove of a Kings management / ownership. I had to stop. It was like one of those Herb Dean steps in and just has to call the fight. It just it almost looked like I was operating in bad faith. All right, now feel free to step in on the YouTube chat and on the text line 916-339-1140. Avoid spending the entire segment talking about how our YouTube doesn't work. From the 530, Dante doesn't want to be here because our organization messed with his paycheck last year. That could be, and that's something we floated earlier. Now, I had a person on Twitter during the break, I picked this up, who said, well, hold on a second. Why are we as a fan base, and this is from James, need to stop complaining when we don't keep a mediocre player? DiVincenzo wasn't it, plain and simple. And it's just a very surface comment that I take exception to. I'm not trying to say that DiVincenzo is an all-world player. It's not the point. If, in fact, he was not open to returning because of things,
Right.
you got to remember this sends a message to the rest of the league.
Yeah.
90% of the league is represented by 6 agents.
Yeah, it's an indictment on the organization and an organization that needs every bit of help it can get.
It's a big deal.
Yeah.
It's a very big deal.
And I get the sense, just even going back to the draft, right or wrong, I feel like more of the fans that I've talked to are less bothered. Let's take the Keegan Murray, part where a lot of people wanted Jaden Ivey.
Yes.
I don't even know that it's as much of I'm not sure about Murray. It's could they have gotten more?
Right.
And I think when you're this team that has struggled and can't find its way out of this rut, I think you need to maximize everything you could possibly get. And that could even be the second round, just kind of dismissal of picks and cash considerations. I feel like that has been as much of a bother to the fan base as anything. And so when logic tells you this qualifying offer wasn't an absurd rate,
right,
a player that you obviously coveted, it just seemed like it made more sense to at least put that out there. And until we know the next step, it's hard not to, I don't want to say overreact, but not have a good feeling about it.
The biggest criticisms I've seen of Monty McNair that are difficult to combat are the margins. You let Bogey walk. Mm-hmm. Okay. And I'm with you. Do we really want to give him, 4-80 or 4-76? Not on this team. But you didn't get anything for him.
Right. Though they tried, but they didn't. Factually,
They
did not get anything for him.
Somebody said, well, they could go back 2 spots and they could have gotten Chris Duarte, which is the report from Indiana.
Sure.
Okay. But just understand, you're getting Benedict Mathurin and Chris Duarte.
Yeah.
Now, that may end up 3 years from now being like, oh, my
That
God.
was my guy.
That was your guy.
But I don't have any fact, maybe that tier for them was a colossal drop.
That's the thing, is that, and these are all things we have to keep track of, because you want to think that all the screwing up is over, but the screwing up may be continuing. It may be continuing with Keegan Murray instead of Mathurin, or not trading back, or not grabbing Jaden Ivey. Like, we don't know. 3 years from now, we may be looking back on this draft and going, oh my God, that we did it again.
Right.
We did it again. And that's tough. It's tough for Kings fans because you're so used to not even mediocrity. So, yeah, Dante DiVincenzo is gone, and they got nothing in return for him. Could they have? Who knows? But it just seems to be a thing. And now all that's left from the second pick in the NBA draft, in which you had Jaren Jackson Jr., you had Trae Young, and, you had Luka Doncic. You had the number 2 pick in the draft. And DeAndre Ayton was the only guy picked ahead of you. The only thing left now is Trey Lyles.
Okay. From that, yes.
From that. That is it. That's what you've got.
Yeah. And now you have basically, as we determined earlier, the value of a mid-level exception. I guess in theory, there's still a chance to sign Dante DiVincenzo. I would be super surprised.
At this point, yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Wouldn't that be more stunning than anything?
Yes. That would be incredibly stunning if they didn't tender him an offer, and now they're tendering him an offer. Yeah. And our old buddy Tim is in the chat line, and I never forget to jump on this, but it does, honestly, it doesn't anger me. I'm so curious. Tim is taking exception to the amount of negativity in the chat and the amount of negativity about the team. And my only thing to Tim, who I do like, but what do they have to be positive about? It's okay. It doesn't mean you want to be negative. It doesn't mean you want to be pessimistic. It's simply, I am at the point, and I think a lot of Kings fans are at the point where we're, as I've said before, we're Missouri. We're the show me state. Nothing's going to matter until wins happen, and every move is going to be looked at cockeyed. You're not going to expect anything. I expect Jaden Ivey and Benedict Mathurin to be better than Keegan Murray. It has nothing to do with Keegan Murray. It has to do with how the franchise historically operates. I do not believe in optimism for the sake of optimism. And I do not believe, for example, we're on the cusp of free agency. Do people want to tune in to hear us? And do you want to talk about, honestly, do you want to talk about all the free agents the Kings could? Do you want us to just make up that they're players,
right? That
they're going to pull off a move here or there that's going to make people happy, or do you want to be grounded in reality? And I often say that the punches that hurt the most are the ones that you don't expect. If you brace for impact, it hurts a little bit less. And I think it's absolutely okay for Kings fans to brace for impact constantly.
They have been, right? That's been the perpetual thought. And I can tell you, being here long enough, as you have too, Dave, that on the other side of it, when the Kings were at their best in that 8-year run, like it was pretty much when the season started, what seed are they going to be?
Yeah.
Like we knew they were going to the playoffs.
Right.
Like that was the complete opposite. Now it's how do they get there? What's the roadmap? What can happen? How can they break this drought? When it's 1 year, 2 year, who's the next team? I think it's the Hornets at 6. It's a long time.
Yes.
But it's not 16.
No.
I mean,
no.
Man.
And by the way, you look at the Hornets, they seem a heck of a lot closer than we are.
They appear to be.
As we go to break, flash poll. It's going to be up all day, but it's just interesting to see how it starts. Already almost 300 votes in. Do you approve or disapprove of Monty McNair's job with the Kings so far? Remember, it was 76 to 24% 2 days ago. 60-40 today, as of right now. 60% approve, 40% disapprove. Dante DiVincenzo, baby. That is the power of Dante DiVincenzo. It's like you need the power of our friends over at American Energy. Let me tell you about American Energy. Go to AmericanEnergyAir.com. $49. $49. Get you a tune-up of your air conditioner plus a free indoor air quality test. Now, you just got to ask for it. It's that simple because not everybody wants that. Not everybody, sometimes you just want them in and out. They're not going to be in and out. I'll tell you, my guy came out. He was there for a couple of hours. He was outside. He was cleaning my filters. He was opening up the unit, making sure everything was all hunky-dory and ready to go. And I had the confidence when he left of knowing that my air conditioner is going to be pumping not only all summer long, but be pumping efficiently. You always want to support local. American Energy, been around since 1981, right here in the Sacramento area. A+ with the Better Business Bureau. Go to Yelp. Go to Google. Read the reviews. It's one of the things I love about our partners is I'm never going to send you anywhere you don't. I wouldn't go myself. American Energy, locally owned, family owned. They do a wonderful job. It's that simple. We got a little bit of a cooling spell this weekend, still in the high 80s. Don't wait till we get into the hundreds again. Go to AmericanEnergyAir.com or give them a call at 916-520-9990. That's 916-520-9990. And get yourself an air conditioning tune-up. We'll take a break. Speaking of next year's draft and the race for Victor Wembanyama, we actually have breaking news on that as well. Sam Amick coming up at 8 o'clock and a big trade between the Hawks and Spurs, how this could affect the Kings. We'll get to that next.
The pick is in. Call or text at 916-339-1140.
The Carmichael Dave Show with Jason Ross on Sacktown Sports 1140.
Sacktown Sports 1140, Dave, Jason, Jay, all the way till 9 a.m. Not only do we have your free agency coverage all day today, including when free agency opens officially at 3 p.m., Cattles and Rami will be on taking you all the way through that. We're also going to be down at Summer League. Find somebody else going to Summer League. We got all your coverage right there, starting with Frankie and friends at SacktownSports.com. They'll be there Friday, the day it opens. Jason, you'll be down there too. I will join you on Sunday. We'll be doing the shows live Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. So we'll have all your coverage, interviews, highlights, all that stuff as we return to Summer League and look for a second chip in a row.
Back to back. All the fanfare will be there for it.
3 Summer League titles. Imagine that. We could be leaving Las Vegas 3-time Summer League world champions.
What if the Kings keep winning Summer League titles, and then if the league adds this tournament?
Mm-hmm.
Like, those are the titles they get in their next 25 years. And never an NBA one.
Isn't that the more likely scenario at this point?
Likely.
Who makes the playoffs first? Sacramento or Seattle?
The Sonics,
I'm going to go with Sacramento just because they don't have a team. The logic. But I know they could have a team in what would be the soonest we could have a team in Seattle? About
the next
4
5 years, yeah.
4 or 5 years, yeah.
They make it year one, like the Golden Knights.
I mean, I know that.
And that team should be terrible at the beginning.
Seattle's made it since we made it. Like,
yes.
The Sonics were in the playoffs since our drought started. Victor Wembanyama, the top prospect in the world outside the NBA and the likely number 1 pick in 2023. We've been talking about him a little bit today. He has opted out of his contract with ASVEL and is signing a 2-year deal with Bologna, whatever, some league in Europe.
Bologna?
It's like Bologna, Levallois, Metropolitans 92. Seriously.
The Mets.
He's changing his, yes, the Bologna Mets. He's going to play for the Bologna Mets next year. And that's he's switching teams over there, but he'll be ready to go. He is the presumptive number one pick in the draft. The Hawks and Spurs. Boy, they make a big trade yesterday. With Sam Amick joining us at 8 o'clock to talk about that. DeJounte Murray is going to Atlanta. Their backcourt now consists of Trae Young and DeJounte Murray. And when you look even further there, you look at that depth chart, at least as of right now, it's pretty interesting. Trae Young, DeJounte Murray, DeAndre Hunter, John Collins, Clint Capella, and you got guys like Kevin Huerter and Bogi Bogdanovic, Timothy Luau-Cabarrot, DeLon Wright, if he's still there, AJ Griffin. Hey, you got, listen, that's a decent team, especially those 2 all-stars in the backcourt.
Yeah.
And definitely a top 2 or 3 backcourt in the Eastern Conference, probably top 5 in the entire NBA. So interesting, but my gosh, what a haul for the San Antonio. I mean, what a haul for the San Antonio Spurs.
Yeah, I totally understand what the Spurs did. I do understand what the Hawks are doing there as well. I mean, they've got so much talent. I think they were a team that's been rumored about moving some of their depth talent for more high profile, and here they did. Gallinari expiring and the picks, which if they're good will be later first round picks for a young player. And Murray's got 2 years left, I believe.
Yes.
So, I mean, you feel like you're building with that backcourt. They also, DeAndre Hunter was a guy that came in the playoffs and really started to make an impact because he had been hurt. But him on the wing with Murray, it gives him 2 really long, athletic, perimeter-type defenders. And, again, a year removed from being in the conference finals. Last year was disappointing, but they have a good coach. I think they've got a good roster, and they're going for it.
2 days ago, 76% of Kings fans approved of the job Monte McNair has done as GM. This was a post-draft grade. We put out a new poll today, 500 votes now in. 58% approve of the job Monte McNair is doing.
The power of Dante DiVincenzo.
Yes.
The power!
It was almost a 20-point drop in the DiVincenzo
Boy,
thing.
was I wrong in my assessment.
Well, it's early yet.
Nah, these things, once they kind of hit
500 in.
Yeah, 500 in, they kind of tend to trend where they're at.
Do you want to stop the count? Is that what you're saying? Are you saying stop the count? 2023 first-round pick.
I'm saying your voting machine is broken.
Via Charlotte. That has protections on it. But the 2025 and 27 Spurs picks they sent for DeJounte Murray have no protections. They also get a pick swap in 2026 as well. So what does that mean? We already went over a lot of what it means for Atlanta, but it also means that Atlanta does not have their draft capital.
Right.
But you continually believe that John Collins is, I mean, by all accounts, they are shopping John Collins.
Still.
Okay. And the Kings have flirted with John Collins. Hey, how you doing, John?
Yeah. Hey, John.
A couple of years now.
Hi there.
Made a move to grab him before he lost, or he re-signed his free agent deal last year. They're still in on him by all accounts, but it's just a matter of what does Atlanta want for him? What is the market for John Collins? John Collins, who, if healthy, a wonderful addition to this team, a top-flight addition to this team. He is a stretch big by definition. He is not a all-team, but a plus defender, and a guy that you could easily see fitting in with Domantas Sabonis.
Why do you think Atlanta seems so eager to move him?
I think a couple things. I think Atlanta, first off, the one that would be the most obvious to me is that they owe him over $100 million over the next 4 years, which they did. And John Collins has played 74, 61, 41, 63, 54 games in his career.
The other side of that, too, is it sounds like, by all accounts, John Collins wants to leave Atlanta.
Yes.
And I think a lot of that has to do with he wants a bigger role. And when you look at a team that just acquired DeJounte Murray, I don't see that role happening.
Well, and that's the question is, how does that fit in? How would John Collins fit in on this team with Keegan Murray? We just moved Keegan to the 3. Can you? I mean, I think Keegan Murray at the 3 could work from an offensive standpoint, but I think, and again, this is coming from the 17 minutes I've watched of Keegan Murray play at Iowa, but from all the scouting reports you read, it's lateral quickness that would be an issue if he's at the 3 guarding other 3s. I don't know if that works, but then again, it doesn't appear that the Kings care very much about defense. The move I would like, we talked about Bobby Portis and moves like that, even a PJ Tucker, as long as you don't have to overpay. Just again,
he's
changing,
going somewhere else. But
I agree with you. Just changing culture, et cetera, et cetera. But the move that I think I would like them to look at, and I think could be had relatively cheap for obvious reasons, would be to talk to Philadelphia. I have a sneaky suspicion there's conversations going on with Philadelphia right now because Matisse Thybulle is available. But it sounds like the asking price for Matisse Thybulle is take Tobias Harris.
Right. So now it's a much bigger contract return.
Yes, it is.
So what are you looking
2
at
less
there?
years.
Yes, it is.
Then Collins?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Tobias only has 2 years left. Collins has 4.
It's not insignificant, and it should be pointed out what Tobias Harris is owed, by the way. Tobias Harris is the highest paid player for next year, at least, on the Philadelphia 76ers. He is signed for 2 more years at $37.6 and $39.2 million. That is a massive, massive number. But if you're able to get Matisse Thybulle, who is signed also for He's got 1 year next year at $4.4 million, and then a team option at $6.2. So in effect,
yeah.
Well, and then you got to remember that's a rookie deal, if I'm not mistaken. So you also have his qualifying offer. Yes. You could have Matisse Thybulle for a while if you're really into him.
Now you want to know how Carmichael Dave at least feels about Dante DiVincenzo. If they're able to somehow pull something off where they're basically like, okay, we'll take Thybulle and Harris and we'll send you back whoever we want. We'll let us put it together. Maybe we'll give you Barnes and Holmes, or maybe we'll throw Justin Holiday, whatever we want to give you back.
Well, you have to, because you have to make the salaries work.
That's what I'm saying. But they get to choose. You're not the only, not that Barnes isn't an asset, not that Holmes isn't an asset, but the idea of being, my only question is this: at 6'7", obviously seems Tobias Harris could play the 3, but you almost have the same problem with Keegan Murray in the sense of, well, if Keegan Murray would have trouble guarding threes.
I don't think Tobias can play the 3 anymore.
I tend to agree with you, which means that you've got a $37 million bench 4. But the idea of having Matisse Thybulle on this team, a perennial all-defense second-teamer.
Is he a bench 4 or you're starting 4 and Murray's your 3? You're not
Harris
getting
is your
$37 million guy on the bench.
You're not putting a guy on the bench that the last 5 seasons has averaged 19 points, 7 boards, 3 assists on almost 40% from 3.
On a playoff
You're
team.
not doing that.
So you are trying Keegan out at the 3.
Yeah.
You have to.
Or whatever, whatever the position semantics are there.
And the thing with Thybulle is his offensive struggles.
Right.
But on this team, they need defense more than offense. That's the type of move that actually interests me a little bit. It's going to cost him a lot of money, but now all of a sudden there's no problem with having too much talent. And not that Tobias Harris is top of the pops. He's not. But forget about the contract. He's a very serviceable NBA player. More on that later. We'll take a break. Listen, Sam Amick time when we come back. And boy, what a day to talk to Sam. He'll break down all the free agency stuff. We'll have some King stuff in there as well. Sam is next.
It's Sacktown The flagship.
Ball game. Sacramento wins.
KHTK AM and HD1 Sacramento. KYMX HD2 Sacramento. From the Power Business Technology Toshiba Studios. Sacktown Sports 1140. The flagship station of your Sacramento Kings. It's the Carmichael Dave Show.
He's on the microphone when he's not on the microphone. He's playing a song, and when he's not playing a song, he's on the microphone, and then boom!
With Jason Ross.
Jay, hey, my headset's
Text or call the show at 916-339-1140. It's the Carmichael Dave Show with Jason Ross on Sacktown Sports 1140.
Final hour. I want to remind you, free agency coverage continues. Cattles and Rami at 3 o'clock, right when free agency opens. We've got all your coverage there. And then we will be down at Summer League, July 8th through the 13th. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday shows live from Vegas. All brought to you by Power Business Technology. Find them online at powercopiers.com. From the text line, some guy from the 209 hates the outro music. That's everybody wants to rule the world.
Oh, wow.
I hate it. He says it kills my mood. I had to turn the show off when it came on. I mean, that's fine. If you want to
At the end of the show?
You want to turn the show off at the end.
Wow.
That's we prefer you to do that than in the middle. Dave, would GM Dave take the trade they offered for DeJounte Murray if it was De'Aaron Fox?
I'll answer for you.
I'm not answering that question. I don't like getting beat up.
Let's cut it. Let's get your answer, cut it up, and put it out on
Put it
socials.
right out there. I'm not letting Jay do it. No, I wouldn't. Joining us right now from The Athletic. Busy day for him, free agency. He's going to be breaking news and breaking stuff down. He's going to be offering grades and, I don't know, whatever the heck he does. From The Athletic, get not one but two subscriptions if you can at theathletic.com. Sleepy Sam Amick joins us. Good morning, Sam.
Good morning, gentlemen.
Hi, Sam.
Whatever the heck he does, huh, Dave? You know?
Well, you do so much.
What do? You just sit on the air and you just talk.
Yes.
I don't know what you do.
Yeah, that's right. I'm not.
That's actually right, Sam.
Actually,
you pegged it.
Not arguing. Sam, are you going to Vegas? Putting you on the
Yes.
spot. You are? Okay, good. I'll see you there.
Oh, good. When are you going?
I'm going the Sunday through Wednesday. Brought to you by Power Business Technology.
Yes.
Find them online at powercopiers.com. Yeah, going Sunday through Wednesday.
All right. Look forward to seeing you, buddy.
You want to hang out?
Absolutely.
You want to go eat?
There's food there.
Okay.
That's a possibility.
Give us the Kings breakdown. I don't want to put you on the spot because I know you got 30 teams to cover. Who are the Kings looking at? Who are they going to sign?
Give us all of them.
All of it.
Yeah, I'm going to not fulfill my weekly Kings duties very well today. I don't have a ton of Kings chatter. I saw they had been tied to Malik Monk. That bothers Lakers fans who want Malik to come back on the relatively cheap. Yeah. So, I don't know. They have been tied to John Collins stuff, which remains viable. That's not free agency, but, it's that time of year.
Are you hearing the same I am that they're, nothing's imminent, nothing's probable, but that they continue to engage on Collins?
Yeah.
It's okay if you're not.
But
I'm asking.
No, I am. It didn't sound very confident.
Leading the witness.
Well, I am. I mean, I guess.
I played the fifth,
right?
Like some other people these days.
Yeah, I heard that.
Yeah.
I mean, I just can't figure out what direction the Hawks are going to go with Collins. I think they're definitely moving him, but it's just, the never-ending trade talks with him. But free agency-wise, I mean, you tell me. I'm gonna flip it on you. What names, if any, maybe you'll jar something loose in my own upstairs. But what names, if any, are you guys hearing?
Well, I guess the one we are first wondering about, not even necessarily tied to the Kings first, but would be DiVincenzo.
Yeah.
Just had you heard any more on that? Like in the sense that it seemed like Monty coveted him. Obviously, the first time didn't get him. Then they got him in this Bagley trade. And it's a qualifying offer, and now the Kings make it known that they're not giving him the qualifying offer, which I guess there's still a remote chance he could come back. But what do you think how did that process all play out, at least in your mind, from what you know, Sam?
Yeah, I need to get some clarity on that today. But, I mean, I don't know. They just – I know I'm a little too close to it just because I live here, but it does seem like, man, they, more than most teams, the Kings have this history of weird – restricted free agency, kind of moves, and usually it's pretty straightforward. And then you try to give him the benefit of the doubt. But, Dave, I saw your tweet about how you were reserving judgment before you lose your mind or whatever. And I feel like, it's probably a tweet you've sent out before about other guys.
Yep.
So, yeah, it's just, the stuff for sure that you hear there about DiVincenzo and how he saw the Kings and his role last year and his camp not being happy. I don't know. It's whether it's him or certain draft picks, they are obviously, and this is not, Monty McNair, Wes Wilcox's fault. It's the Kings' history is just making it tough. It's compound interest of the worst kind, if that makes sense. The teams and players, they keep running into, camps that don't want to be here. And I think it makes it challenging because of, how bad the past 16 years have been.
Sam Amick with us. That's something we were talking about earlier, Sam, on a more philosophical level, and just to underline why Kings fans shouldn't be too revved up for this. The rumors last year was, there were some goals in DiVincenzo's contract tied to playing time that they were trying to hit, and then you have the trade happened and his playing time was messed with, and you heard the rumors that his camp was not happy about that. And also last year we know, and we talked about this, but again, just in retrospect, putting it all together to create a picture, that Marvin Bagley's agent came to town at one point and had it out with Monty McNair, and shortly thereafter Bagley was part of the deal going to Detroit. And this is on and on and on. We've heard stories about agents and camps, like you said, just not saying, do not go there. The only reason to go to Sacramento is if you're old and you need a contract, or they're going to way overpay. It seems that they're very much operating behind the eight ball. Is that to you, is that accurate? Now, let me ask you straight up, Sam. Is there a team in the NBA with a worse reputation amongst agents and camps than the Sacramento Kings?
Again, well, that's a tough question. I think about Phoenix, and then they turn it around.
Right.
I think about, I don't know.
New York?
Probably no. No, New York is always
sure.
There's lipstick on that pig, so to speak, because it's New York. So like the bar is just, or I guess the floor is higher, if that
Sure.
makes sense.
Sure.
Because of everything that comes with it. Even like a Kyrie Irving's a good example. The second he's in distress, in Brooklyn, the Knicks are on his list. That's a high-level player that immediately uses the Knicks as, whether it's genuine or leverage, whatever. The Knicks are in the mix because of the New York factor. So it's probably the Kings. And I saw, after the draft, that Monty got asked about. I think James Ham was the one who asked him about the number of prospects that, lottery prospects that didn't come through. And it's just, that is something that doesn't get highlighted that much. It's almost like we do them a little bit of a favor at times by not putting salt in the wound, but it is real.
Yeah.
And then they sometimes try to act like it's not, but it is real.
Sam, speaking to that, at least on the Kings front of the draft, last week we talked to his draft day, and we now know it's Keegan Murray. Some, Jaden Ivey are moving back or different things. There's always going to be opinions on that, but kind of your read amongst others around the league of what they thought of the drafting of Keegan Murray.
Yeah, that's another one where locally I feel like the narrative is okay and somewhat palatable. It's okay. Maybe it was, we talked last week about fit over talent. And I had said that I certainly heard going in that it was going to matter, and then that bared out with the pick.
Good thing I didn't disagree with you.
You sure did, man.
Nice text.
All these years later, yeah, I know. Right?
Sam, but just so people know, Sam texted me right after the draft. I don't care about bringing off-air stuff on because you were right here. Sam texted me like 2 seconds after they picked Keegan Murray. He's like, told you. Way to doubt me, bro. Like, that's the type of person Sam is. That's okay. Go ahead.
And I did listen. I sympathize. I've never been the guy who's got to sit in the chair and do the press conference. So it just my disclaimer is I'm saying this lightheartedly.
Yes,
but I also might have joked that like when Monty talked about Keegan Murray in the press conference that, we should have had a game going and take a shot every time you said best player available.
Yep.
Because there was a real emphasis on that. But to your question, how did it get seen around the league? A pretty healthy amount of people. This is the fun of the draft where we will see over time. But, a lot of, folks who obviously thought Ivy was the better player and that this was a fit pick by the Kings. And we'll see. When you guys dropped, I think you guys last week dropped that reference to the 3-4 different times where the pick right after the Kings was just brutal.
Yeah.
Like that, we all know the history, but the good news is, Keegan has got a fantastic reputation, supposed to be a very good player. I do still think whether it's John Collins or something else that, Harrison Barnes could certainly be on his way out and Keegan will be kind of taking that mantle and a similar type player. So, he could be very good. I'm not ready to sit here and say they made a mistake there. You just can't. It's going to take years to know how that choice went.
Sam Amick with The Athletic joining us. Sam, it's been written, it's been talked about. I'm curious as to your thought. Was the DeJounte Murray trade the first open salvo in the Victor Wembanyama sweepstakes?
Yes, it was. In fact, I wrote about that yesterday with our guy, Chris Kirshner.
That's where I read it.
Fox beat writer. Yes.
Mm-hmm.
And, did you read it twice because of the 2 subscription thing?
I read everything twice, buddy. I get my money's worth. Don't worry about
it. 2 comments,
right.
2 reads.
Right.
The thing, I always love, I operate in the nuance and the context. And so I wasn't aware until yesterday, although we didn't write this part, but that Tony Parker, was part owner in the club, that Victor plays in France. It's not real tough to connect these dots. What I think is interesting on the Spurs side is that it really, like we did write about how during the trade talks between Atlanta and San Antonio, the Hawks at one point got a little nervous because the Spurs went dark on them for a while. And the Hawks thought, maybe they were having second thoughts or pulling away from the possible deal. They didn't really know what was going on. And I think what was going on was the Spurs group, which is R.C. Buford, Brian Wright, their GM, and obviously Greg Popovich, was looking at this fork in the road between rebuild and keep competing and, being a playoff team like they have been forever, except for the past couple of years. And philosophically, they decided go ahead and rebuild. And it's like, it makes for a heck of an interesting, end to Greg Popovich's coaching career. They're going to try to get Victor and then, kind of reenact the Tim Duncan, David Robinson era, I guess, where they they get a transcendent player and then they're on their way. So we'll see how the next couple of years go, but I think for sure that played a part.
All right. That's Sam Amick of The Athletic. Sam, as always, appreciate you. Looking forward to talking to you next week to recap all this craziness and looking forward to hanging out down in Summer League and breaking news and writing things and reading things and all the fun stuff we do. So appreciate you, buddy.
Appreciate you guys. Be good.
Thank you.
Thank you. Well, we're going to take a break. Before so, I want to talk to you about my friends over at Amy. And I got a nice tease for you after this, too. The texts are going up, so don't go away.
Yeah.
Because I just heard a new name the Kings are engaged in the free agency saga.
Is it LeBron?
It is not LeBron.
Damn it!
It is not a crazy big name. I don't want to fool you, but it's a newer name in the mix. First off, let's talk about Amy. Let's talk about the 4th of July. It's time for family and friends together outside on the patio, around the pool, enjoying everything, eating, and having fun. And how do you eat? You grill. That's what you do. Amy's got a huge selection of grills, including my favorite, the Traeger pellet grills. It's where I got my Traeger. Save $150 off the incredible Traeger Ironwood 650 and 885 pellet grills. The thing pretty much cooks your food on its own. You got to rub it, you got to sauce it, you got to marinate it, the whole thing. But nowadays you got probes with alarms that go off on your phone. And it's the ultimate set it and forget it. You get that beautiful smoky flavor without all the effort of rolling around trying to feed it wood, work the fire. whatever people do. 650 and 885 Traeger Ironwood pellet grills. Smoking, searing, cooking. Traeger will help you prepare your 4th of July feast to perfection. Been going to Amy since I was a kid. Getting that free popcorn. Shocking. Amy's Outdoor Living. El Camino near Watt. That's Amy's Outdoor Living. El Camino near Watt. Been around since the start of last century. Talking about the 1900s, y'all. There's a reason. Get in there and tell them Carmichael Dave sent y'all. Hearing rumors the Kings poking around on Kyle Anderson.
That'll get him back to the playoffs.
I mean,
that's one of my names.
Listen,
realistic free agent.
I'm certainly not trying to
slow-mo.
Give you, I'm not trying to say that here comes an all-star. Just Kyle Anderson, 28 years old. Kyle Anderson was one of the names Jason Ross mentioned. Did he just coincidentally mention it, or is Jason Ross secretly part of the front office? I don't know. Well, you do technically work for the team. Maybe you guys
I was thinking you were going to do like a UCLA connection or something.
Oh, yeah.
But he's a playmaking wing.
Yes.
Long.
Yes.
Slow-mo is very accurate. Man, it's such a...
That
he played like that at UCLA. I was like, man, I don't know what is... he confused me because I'm like, I don't know if he's a pro. He just seems... But he just downshifts permanently. He's always played that way.
He's always in second gear.
44% from the field, 33% from behind the arc, 7.5 points, 5.3 boards, 2.7 assists, and just 1 turnover. So takes care of the ball, and is a guy that is also engaged defensively, coming from that Memphis culture as well. Pretty good couple of cultures to be at. 4 years with San Antonio. This is old San Antonio. Followed up with 4 years with Memphis. Just one of those solid pros. And again, just hearing that they're kicking the tires on a guy like Kyle Anderson. And yes, to your point, Jason, people might hear a name like Kyle Anderson and go, oh. Well, let me tell you something, man. Insert player name ain't walking through that door.
Right.
It's not happening.
I mean, again, what do we say? Mid-level, so $10 million. Just think about a $10 million player in the league.
Yeah.
That's about what they're looking at.
Yeah.
So you can think Bradley Beal. You can think whoever you want.
I'd like Bradley Beal, too.
I would, too. And if Bradley Beal came for $10 million, I think Bradley Beal would probably get a statue up front right away.
Would that be the biggest King story of all time, that Bradley Beal signed for a discounted $10 million a year deal?
Yeah, to leave Washington. Yes.
It would be one of the top 10 league stories of all time.
Yeah. So, to your point, it's not happening. I mean, that kind of stuff's not happening.
No.
But you can still find... Can you get another player that makes an impact on this team, a difference maker, whether that's a starter, a top 8 rotational player, that you're on the right side of a contract with, and where we go at the end, hey, that was a good signing. Mm-hmm. There hasn't been enough of those. There hasn't been, hey, that was a good draft pick. Again, we can do this list. There's a few we can say positives of.
Sure.
Not enough. Not enough.
What one thing, and please don't say talent or wins, what is the single thing, ability, you both think the Kings need most?
In a player? And
when you're looking at, let's say it's like when you start out one of them video games and you get to apply strengths, shooting, defense, offense, passing, this, that, whatever. So number one is defense.
I'm going to go... I mean, I think that's the right answer, but this might be inside of that answer.
I think I know where you're going.
Compete?
Yeah.
Like competitiveness, compete level?
Yep.
Like, I guess there would be a compete level. Mm-hmm. If they could put that at 10, honestly, I think there's some teams I look at around the league and I go, gosh, are they better than the Kings? And obviously, record-wise, they end up being better than the Kings.
Right.
Now, the obvious ones with a super talent team, like, yeah, they're just better. Mm-hmm. Like, how do some of these other teams get more out? And I don't know if some of it falls into compete, but I think if you compete level is 10, to Jay's side, you're a better defensive team.
Sadly, because I think your point is super valid, how sad is it that that's what we have to say? Compete.
Yes.
That's sad.
It is sad.
But it's also true.
And I 100% agree with both of you. And Jason, your line of thinking mirrors mine. I was going to say defense with an addendum that generally with a player that is engaged on defense comes that attitude.
Right. There's the edge, the dog, all
of that.
Terms that we say.
That's their number one need. Grit.
Yeah.
You can use the showcase term, whatever it is. they've just historically been a soft team.
Yeah, and I think, this, what's the phrasing? Like, it kills you to lose more than it does, like, than you even enjoy winning.
Yes.
So, okay, you're going to lose on a night. Okay, if it's 2 in a row, like, you want the compete level to be, that next practice is brutal.
Yep.
Like, not even coaches need to call that out. It's like the veterans, like, we're not losing a third. I know we're playing the defending champion Warriors. We're not losing tonight. Like that, even if you do, like, just that thought, that mentality, I don't see enough from this team.
We have gone through the pretty much every single trade that the Kings have been linked to, free agent, whatever. Has anything or any name or names made you think, like, if the Kings get 1, 2, or 3 of these guys that we hear them linked to, that this team can make a legit push for the playoffs next year?
No.
Jason?
I don't think it's contingent on the names. On the names that whether that's Monk, Kyle Anderson, Collins, Tobias Harris. I think to me, it's hinging on Fox and Sabonis.
Yes, I agree with you. I think for the longest time, and I think the thing that we also have a very difficult time putting our finger on, and by the way, let's not forget, hopefully one of the acquisitions this summer that we're going to look back on is going to be Mike Brown.
Right.
Hopefully we're looking back at some point and saying, okay. There are many, to your question earlier, Jason, about how you wonder, is this team better? Is that team better? Like, how is it? Is because the Kings seemingly have just underachieved. You look at the team on paper, and it's like, okay, let's forget about DiVincenzo going. All right. You have De'Aaron Fox. Look at his numbers towards the end of last year. Domantas Sabonis, all-star. He's a walking double-double machine. Dante DiVincenzo started on a championship team. Harrison Barnes also, I believe, started on a championship team. Yes. And then, obviously you have some weakness at the 4 there, but you can squint and tilt your head a little bit and go, wow, the Kings do have the makings of a solid roster, but so much of it is good coaches and good franchises get their teams to overachieve. You are getting the most blood out of the turnip.
Yeah.
And it just seems, especially recent history, with the exception I wouldn't even say maybe. I would say with the exception of 3/4 of the Dave Yeager year, the year he got fired, that's the last time I've seen where I can point and go, you know what, that coach is overachieving. The team is overachieving. And we just don't have that. You get down a few, the team gets punched in the mouth a couple of times, and fans see it. They quit. They're done. And you can call it something insulting like heart or they're soft.
I think you guys are both extremely correct here. So can we conclude that in order for the Kings to make a push for the postseason next year, they have to overachieve?
Correct. 100%.
Overachieving is what is going to do it.
100%. And the sad thing is this. I laugh all you want. I firmly believe if you told me that this coming year's team, with the talent level they have there, if you told me that team was going to, for a full season, overachieve at the level it did during that Yeager year I just referenced, I'd say they're a play-in team. They're 100% a play-in team.
Well, didn't we actually look at the records, Jason?
Yeah.
Weren't they the 10 seed?
Yeah.
They would have been.
Yes, they would have been.
Yeah.
I actually think that
even the 9.
They're not even
Yeah,
done
they
yet.
would have been the 9. You're correct.
I think this team is actually more talented than that Yeager year.
It is.
Oh, yeah.
I really do think that. And that's without even knowing what Keegan Murray's going to be.
So when we come back, Dave, I'm going to give you a team, both of you guys, a team that I think, just if I read you the roster, you know what the results that they were last year. I think this is the team that I think the Kings can be. They haven't shown any, but like, why couldn't they be this team?
We'll get that team and so much more. One last look at the Kings' status for today. Your free agency coverage all day long continues right here on Sports 1140 KHTK. We're right back.
text at 916-339-1140.
The Carmichael Dave Show with Jason Ross on Sacktown Sports 1140.
Final half hour. The news coming up shortly. A little addition, thanks to Jason Ross. Welcome in. 1-800-920-1140. 339-1140. And 1-800-920-1140. You can watch us on YouTube, both live and on demand.
Yes.
Sacktown Sports 1140. Want to remind you, we'll be in Vegas the 8th through the 13th. We'll be doing the shows Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday down there, and we'll be all over it. We'll be looking at the new rookies, obviously, especially Keegan Murray. We'll be looking at all the new free agents coming this way. You had a thought before the break.
Yeah, so we were talking about you asked like what's the thing? What's something that they're missing?
What is the thing?
Missing from the Kings? And I think this team has it. And I look at the roster, and I'll read you the roster. You guys the roster here in a minute. And they made just a dramatic turnaround this last year. And the year before, they got in as a play-in team and made the playoffs. And this last year was one of the best teams in the league. I'll read you the roster: Steven Adams, Kyle Anderson, Desmond Bain, Dylan Brooks. I mean, good players.
Yes.
Good players. Brandon Clark, Jarrett Culver. Well, they now have Danny Green. Jaren Jackson Jr., Tyus Jones. Of course, John Morant, their big feature player. Killian Tilly, Xavier Tillman.
Is Killian Tilly one or two players? It's one.
And Zaire Williams.
Yeah.
I mean, talent. I mean, there's talent. There's no doubt there's
John
talent.
Morant is, and the funny thing about that particular team, Jason, is that John Morant, there's no doubt, is the best player on that team. He is their star.
Right.
And they were like
irreplaceable.
26-4 without it.
Right. So to your point of wringing everything out of the rag or the turnip, you're getting everything.
It's a great pull.
And
Taylor Jenkins deserves a ton of credit for that.
When you're, before a season, the GMs have rosters up there. I go, yeah, Memphis, there'll be some fight in that team, but you picking them to be the 2 seed?
Nope.
Picking them to have 58 wins?
Nope.
So maximizing what you've got. Again, John Morant, everybody would take him. Lovely player. Great. Jaren Jackson's he's doing the right things, getting better and better. Dylan Brooks has a lot of edge to him.
Yes.
Actually, I think he's one that you'd want to fight if you're on an opposing team. But that's a team that it's not a huge market, drafted pretty well, but developed. And then just sometimes you get a guy like, Kyle Anderson on that team. Kyle Anderson on that team, though, looks really good. Brandon Clark. Okay, just every little piece just seemed to make a lot of sense. The guy that even moved to get Danny Green, DeAnthony Melton, went to Philly. He was a nice player. They just have a lot of good, tough players.
DeAnthony Melton was actually
I think it's a nice move for Philly, by the way.
Oh, my goodness. That's what the DeAnthony Melton move. It's one of those under-the-radar moves. And I'm not sitting here saying DeAnthony Melton's going to be what's going to bring them a championship.
Yeah.
But DeAnthony Melton with the minutes. This is a guy that just played 22 minutes a game.
But was always impactful. And they dealt him for Danny Green, who shredded his knee. I didn't quite understand that from Memphis. I do for Philly.
Really like that move.
But again, that's a team where, we're not talking about Steph and Clay and like supreme talent, Giannis, Holiday, Middleton, all these all-stars. This is a team that gets everything out of every game.
As a Kings fan and as somebody who we all analyze this team, my brain has started to develop over the years a method of journaling, if you will. When Luke Walton was coaching this team, a lot of times people would say, Dave, do you really think Luke Walton's a good coach? And my go-to answer was always, I don't know. I don't know. On one hand, he's done nothing to impress me. The most impressive thing I always thought Luke Walton did was keeping the locker room together through some terrible times. Nobody ever complained about him. You never heard anything about locker room strife or anything like that. Like, he was a player's coach. But in the end, despite his record being, I think, the best since Rick Adelman, we love to point to that and it ticks people off. But in the end, despite that, obviously failed here. Mm-hmm. And it's still, I don't know. Because is he 31-5 with a team that my mom could coach in the Warriors, or is he sucked here? And then Alvin Gentry sucked here.
I think there's something, and people don't like to hear this, but it's the honest to God truth. Some coaches are really good at developing, and there's others that are really good at managing teams that already have guys that can play.
That's right.
And I think Luke Walton is one of those guys because he's been a player in the NBA, similar to like what we've seen with Steve Kerr. When Steve Kerr had young guys, it's not like they had great records in Golden State for 2 years.
No.
I think Steve Kerr is the type of coach that is really good at managing veteran star teams. I think Luke Walton, had the Kings had 3 All-Stars and they brought him in, would have had much better, not just because, he had a better roster, obviously,
right,
but he's not really a developmental coach, if that makes sense. Where you look at someone like Kenny Atkinson in Brooklyn, great job developing young guys, but when they got the veterans in there, it was clear he was not the answer.
Mike Brown was very, very good in Cleveland record-wise with LeBron James. In fact, his worst year was 45-37. He had 2 50-win years, a 66 and a 61-win year. Then was 41-25 with the Lakers in his first year there. They won the Pacific. That was a shortened season, obviously. And then went 1-4, was fired, went to Cleveland, was 33-49, and was fired after 1 year and missing the playoffs. Still 33-49. They were third in the Central.
And that was without LeBron.
That's correct. Yeah. And that was without LeBron.
And they changed GMs and so on and so forth, yeah.
I go into next year with Mike Brown as the head coach of this team. Is Mike Brown a good coach? I don't know. And what I mean by journaling is you start to keep a tally of things. And let me get to Monty McNair. Though I am of the opinion that Monty McNair has done a pretty good job at cleaning up the prior regime and is doing what he can incrementally to improve this team with the assets he has, you also have to journal the other things. For example, didn't get anything for Bogey.
Okay.
The screwed up Bogey transaction before that. Didn't seemingly get anything for Dante DiVincenzo. Hired Mike Brown. And what I mean by that is not a slight at Coach Brown, but it does trigger an alarm in my head when I see that Steve Clifford went back to Charlotte.
Yeah.
I see that Hardy went to another guy they were looking at, went to Utah. Darvin Ham goes to the Lakers.
Yeah.
So all these guys that the Kings were looking at, they all have jobs with other teams, and we're going to watch them. When Hardy is kicking butt with the Jazz and he's the next Taylor Jenkins, we're all going to look back at that, drafting Keegan Murray and not Jaden Ivey. Now, again, we don't have answers on a lot of this stuff, but in my head, I'm keeping a tally.
Oh, it gets evaluated.
Sure, because we may be sitting here 2 or 3 years from now and going, you know what, we never got out of the rut. Not just record-wise, but even when we were hoping that we were getting out of the rut. No, because this, and this. Look at all the misses. We may be in the middle. We did not know we missed when we drafted Thomas Robinson, when we drafted Jimmy Fredette, when we drafted Marvin Bagley. We didn't know at the time. It took years of hindsight, and we may very well be still in that nightmare as we speak right now. That's the sick truth of things.
I completely agree.
Yes.
This Jake Fisher from Bleacher Report just put this tweet out, and I want to get your guys' thoughts on this real quick. Not sure if this has been reported yet, but I'm told Danilo Gallinari's guarantee date has only been officially moved back to July 8th, which would suggest Atlanta is still looking to expand the DeJounte Murray trade as Hawks look for further John Collins, Kevin Huerter deals. Is that something, again, we keep hearing the Kings linked to John Collins.
Yeah.
I love the idea of Kevin Huerter being your starting shooting guard.
Oh, I like that's more exciting to me, honestly, than Collins.
But what I'm saying is, what if you could get both?
Huerter and Collins?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think you can.
And I think you can without giving up a ton. Like, I think your big players that you're sending out are probably Holmes and Barnes and Filler, and you would have to send out a first-round pick.
What does Gallinari have to do with this again? What did I miss
Because
there?
he's part of the Spurs trade?
Yeah, but he's on the Spurs now, right?
Right, but his contract this year is not fully guaranteed. So they have until July 8th to say the Spurs or whoever would acquire Gallinari and be like, nah, we don't want you. Only it's a partial guarantee.
Okay. Well, Barnes, Lamb, and Holmes for Collins and
Lamb's
Huerter.
a free agent.
Oh, that's right. Stupid.
But I think Barnes, Holmes, Holiday, and like Harkless. And then at least one first-round pick you have to give up. At least one.
Let's see.
Probably two.
No, Barnes, Holmes, and Holiday works.
Just the three?
Just the three. Works for Collins and Huerter. I agree with you. You'd have to throw in like a 2025 first-rounder. You can't throw in a 2023 first-rounder. You can't do it. You cannot give up your ticket to Victor Wembanyama, even if it's a tiny ticket.
I feel like if you have that, if your starting lineup next year rolling out as Fox, Huerter, Keegan Murray, John Collins, and DeMontis Sabonis, if you're a lottery team, you're like at 13 or 14.
I gotta say this though, as much as I do think Collins is a potentially really good fit for this team.
I think Werder's a great fit.
I agree with you too, but
Yes.
then I go back to this. If you're going to acquire John Collins, then why didn't you draft Jaden Ivey? I keep getting stuck on that because then you go Ivy and Fox, and then you put Collins at the 4.
Unless you feel Keegan Murray can play the 3, which, again, Keegan Murray feels he can play the 3.
But why am I getting scary deja vus if Marvin Bagley can play the 3? And I know it's different.
Because it's 100% different.
I know it's different.
Nobody outside of Vlade Divac in this world thought Marvin Bagley could play the 3. There's a lot of people that think Keegan Murray can play the 3.
Including Keegan.
Including Keegan Murray.
I think Keegan, and by the way,
I don't think Marvin thought Marvin could play the 3.
Keegan Murray certainly can play the 3. He certainly can.
Collins could also be a small ball 5 if Sabonis gets in foul trouble.
Yeah, you can certainly. It gives you front court depth, which isn't a bad thing.
It also makes you a lot longer with Keegan Murray at the 3, which is something this team has just desperately lacked on the wing is length. And I think, is Herter 6'6"?
He might be taller than that.
Yeah, I think Herter might be 6'7". Again, gives you a big 2 guard that can shoot, which again...
He's 6'7", $198.
At the 2?
At the 2, which makes him an inch shorter than your 3. So you're going to go 6'7" at the 2, 6'8" at the 3.
6'9" at the 4, 7
6'9" at the 4,
center.
7 foot at center with De'Aaron Fox in there. That's an awfully big team, sure. Who are you guarding, dude?
What do you mean, who am I guarding? I don't play.
Who are they guarding?
Well, that's
Who's
been a problem.
they?
Mike Brown's just got to get the most out of that defense like he did with the Warriors.
Woof, woof. I mean, woof. W-O-O-F. W-U-P-H. Woof. No. You got to keep cool in these situations. You really do, being that it is free agency. You've got to keep cool. And there's not too many better ways to keep cool than making sure that your air conditioner is tuned up. What is TC yammering about on the chat? I'm annoying because I get mad when no one agrees with him. Who? What? Who are we? Are we arguing? What do we disagree on? Keegan Murray at the 3?
That's probably...
I don't even disagree with that. I worry about it. I don't disagree with it. TC needs to have a cup of pudding and sit down. Jeez.
Cup of pudding.
I don't know. Whatever people do to calm down.
That's it. Tapioca, baby.
Oh, I'm also proving his point, though, by getting annoyed.
Oh.
Yeah. $49 tune-up offer. Oh, yeah. $49 tune-up offer on your air conditioner from American Energy. Go to AmericanEnergyAir.com.
Time you had pudding.
I had some pudding. I had pudding on Sunday. I had tapioca. Baby. Love me some pudding. Usually I have pudding in the fridge. It's my kids, but I steal it. Also get a free indoor air quality test upon request. Yeah, it rhymes. Listen, it's hot. It's hot. Make sure your air conditioner is running correctly. Get your $49 tune-up at American Energy. Local, been here since 1981, serving the greater Sacramento area. Call today to schedule your appointment, 916-520-9990. That's 916-520-9990 or AmericanEnergyAir.com. That's AmericanEnergyAir.com. Tell them Carmichael Dave sent you. We got tickets to the Sac Republic. We've got the news and so much more. We'll get to that next.
by on this frequency.
It's time for the news of the day.
Thank you for ruining the show and dropping a steamer on my journalistic integrity.
Today's important headlines, intelligent analysis, hard-hitting interviews. Yeah, this is none of those things. Here's Carmichael Dave and Jason Ross.
Oh my God, I love those guys.
Oh, we love you too. Want to remind you, Cattles and Rami. Cattles and Rami.
They need a jingle.
They do. That was it.
Just gave him one.
Yep. In the afternoons.
Cattles and Rami.
Afternoons.
3 o'clock. They've got all your free agent coverage. In fact, the NBA nice enough to hold off
Yeah, they knew.
free agency until Cattles and Rami come on the air. Sacktown Sports 1140's coverage of the 2022 NBA Summer League, also brought to you by Power Business Technology. Find them online at powercopiers.com. We will all be down there. We'll be down there Friday throughout the entire week. Jason and I will be on the air Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, bringing you shows and all the scuttle tush.
Scuttle
tush. I like that.
Kids are listening. So there you go. Stay tuned. All news all the time. Let's see. Today is June 30th. As is tradition, we tell you what the national day is today. I almost thought that said, okay. I thought it said International Steroid Day.
That would be awesome.
International Asteroid Day. Or asteroid, but you get the point. International Asteroid Day. Okay.
By the way, if a big one hits Earth, we die.
Yeah, here's that'd change free agency news. It's Social Media Day. Oh, they're really scraping the bottom of the barrel.
It's your day.
With the launch of Friendster and MySpace. God, who was on Friendster?
I've never heard of Friendster until 8:44 and 50 seconds on June 30th, 2022.
Cattles and Rami.
They're true Friendsters.
Twitter encouraged us 2004 to be succinct by posting our thoughts in under 140 characters. Whatever, get through this, dude. Here's what you got to do. How do you celebrate it? You post something on your favorite social media platform. Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, Truth Social, whatever it may be. Share your favorite meme or connect with someone you haven't spoken to in ages. Meme. Hashtag Social Media Day. By the way, Social Media Day was founded in 2010 by Mashable. Okay. Mashable. Potatoes. National Meteor Watch Day is kind of like International Asteroid Day. And somebody told me last night there's like a meteor shower going through here right now. Apparently you can, watch me. Yeah, falling stars, man. Real shooting stars, fun to watch. Yay or nay? I say yay. Big fan of shooting. Come on, you look up in the night sky and there's a big old shooting star. You don't get a little thrill.
Someone said updating my MySpace account with the Cattles and Robbie's jingle.
Yeah, Cattles and Rami. Anyways, that's all we got. We got birthdays today?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. We're ready. I'm taking you on.
All right.
Take on me.
Oh, it's head to head?
Take me on.
Okay. Well, first and foremost, can we do the most important birthday of the day?
Yeah.
The G-Man. I mean, today's a holiday.
Oh, it is a holiday. Why are we even working right now?
It should be a day off for everybody, for the
should.
world. It is the Happy birthday, G-Man.
Birthday.
It's G Agency Day.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Accept
We'll
it.
accept it.
Yep. Allowed.
You know what? He is on happy 50th G-Man.
Yes.
I'm going to say 36.
Yeah, I'm going to say
I wasn't entering birthdays for G-Man.
yeah.
But what's your guess? You said 50.
Yeah, I'm going to say
Jason,
50. I'm going to say
36.
50. Are we both a little low?
I don't know.
Something
no
like
one
that.
knows.
No one knows.
It's the mystery.
No one
International man of
knows.
mystery.
No, someday you got to never mind. I'm going to say you count the rings,
Yes.
but you'd have to lose an arm
Well,
for that.
all I'll
so
say is he's been the voice of the Kings ever since they've been here, and he looks the exact same.
he does.
So he's like Benjamin Button.
Okay, true or false? Because we spent some time with him. Have you ever spent time wondering what situations G-Man's hair would get messed up in?
I haven't spent time wondering it,
I've spent
but
way too much time.
it was Jimmy Johnson, right? When the Cowboys won and they all
Yeah.
But like if the Kings won would that
for
would that be the
sure.
thing you do, or do you just like no, you don't?
I would.
Would he be okay with it?
I think he would.
Okay.
Okay. True question. True.
You didn't ask him when he was in here?
I didn't. I should have asked him this, and I want to get your guys' take. We will ask him someday. Has G-Man in his life as an adult, so post 18, has he ever done the Ferris Bueller in the shower and given himself a mohawk?
Yes, absolutely.
I think he has too. He just grabs a shower head, he's singing Twist and Shout.
Yeah, I think this morning.
I think so too.
Yeah.
Happy birthday, G-Man.
Yes.
He is so darn beloved.
Okay, here you go. You guys ready?
Beloved, yes.
All right. Jamar, well, you guys either one guess first.
Dave can go first.
Dave can go first. Happy birthday today to former baseball player of the then Los Angeles Angels, California Angels of Anaheim. I don't know. Garrett Anderson.
Oh, man.
He is turning what today, guys?
Garrett Anderson is turning. Oh, you go first. Never mind. Sorry.
58.
58.
47.
Jay Mars gets the win. He's 50.
Dang it.
50. Happy birthday. Jay Mars could have advantage here to current Dodger. Excellent slider. He just slides in and pops right up. Trey Turner.
Boo.
Is turning what today, guys?
No, you go first. You're the Dodger.
You won.
32.
32.
I'm going to say 33.
Jay Mars. 28 years old.
God,
for Trey
I was
Turner.
almost said 28. I should get.
Okay,
I
guys.
thought Trey Turner was older than that.
Happy birthday today to former pitcher Chan Ho Park.
Oh,
God. Chan Ho
The
is how
Parkinator.
old?
He of giving up 2 grand slams to one player in the same inning.
I'll say Chan Ho is 44.
Chan Ho is 46.
Jay Mars, 49 years old. Are you playing? Are you
I am
trying? Are you
getting-
point
I am
shaving?
getting my
Are you
tush
birthday
kicked
shaving?
in. Wow. I'm just, honestly, it's all downhill from G-Man's birthday, that's
Yeah.
for sure.
Okay, let's get some legends in here.
All right.
Happy birthday to the greatest Olympian. Yeah, I'll say it. Greatest Olympian of all time, Michael Phelps.
I agree with that.
Is what today, Dave? Now count the swimming years in there.
Michael Phelps is 33.
Okay. Jay Mars?
35.
Jay Mars gets the win. Michael Phelps is 37 today. I think you're on the take.
4-0.
That was audible.
Sorry.
You know, Friday Fun and Games may just be
You know
birthday
what?
guesses.
I'm turning the hat around.
Oh, it's a rally hat?
Rally hat. They said to do it on the YouTube. Down 4-0.
You look so lame.
I know. It's like
I don't even
look
recognize
awful.
you.
Turn it back
Who is
around.
that?
No, I'm
I have to look at Jay for
I'm
this.
ser-
I can't even look over there
Thanks.
Happy birthday today to
Look at me. Okay, go ahead.
Wait, what did you say?
Let's look at me.
Oh,
Look at me.
I thought you said something
Oh,
completely
no.
else.
Wow, the look on his face was rather like.
Dump it.
Yeah, you gotta.
Happy birthday to actor in The Hangover, also known for boxing, Iron Mike Tyson. What's he turning today, guys?
Iron Mike is. Hold on here.
Dave's really locking in. The hat is forward.
I got to get serious now.
I may have this
56.
Okay.
one. 57.
Okay. Carmichael Dave, right on the number.
Hello. Turns
You
the hat
cheated.
around. How much?
You Googled.
Because I did not.
When he turned the hat around, he's got like the birthdays in there.
Turn my hat around with the brain. Turn the brain around and nailed it.
That happened.
And that's 2 points, by the way. It's 2 points when you nail it.
Okay, you're down
4-2.
All right. Last one.
Uh-huh.
As legendary
For the tie.
as the G-Man is in Sacramento Kings history,
Uh-huh.
Sacramento Kings Hall of Famer, The Rock,
Mitch
Richmond is turning what today?
All right. Let's see here.
What a list of birthdays, by the way.
Yeah, it's a really good list.
G-Man, Phelps, Mike Tyson,
I'm going
Mitch
to say
Richmond.
The Rock is 53 years old.
53 is Carmichael Dave's guess. Jay Mars.
I'm going to say The Rock turned. Hold on.
I remember when The Rock was a pebble.
What'd you say?
53.
You said 53. I'm going to go and say The Rock is 54.
Jay Mars with the win. Mitch is 57 today.
Wow.
Really?
Yeah.
Wait, Mitch is almost 60?
Get a piece
He
of the
looks
rock.
great, by the way.
He does.
He does. Does he age? I don't
No,
think
he
does.
doesn't. He looks the same as when he played.
Yeah.
Him and G-Man.
He and G-Man. G-Man
Yeah.
looks the same as when he played. too.
Yes.
Okay, bonus edition, since Jason left this one out.
Uh-huh.
Sacramento Kings potential center, because he's like lightweight a free agent. Damian Jones has a birthday today. Age, please.
25?
I was going 26 off the top of my head.
I think you're right,
I
actually.
don't know.
I forgot, so I'm looking it up. I think it's 27. Damian Jones is 27.
So I won.
Wait, what?
No, what? Is that not how it
No,
works?
he wins.
Okay.
There you go.
Suck at
There's
this
the
game.
list of birthdays today. Happy birthday to all of them. Happy birthday, G-Man.
You know what? I sucked at this game today. I don't know why, but that's making me laugh for some reason. The dog looks like he's laughing.
Oh, I thought he was, what's he eating?
Looks like he's eating a cat.
Oh, okay.
Shout out to Sacramento Kings broadcaster Katie Christensen. It's not her birthday today, but she just sent me some pictures of her backyard. That's not a euphemism. She's working on her backyard. She has spent the last week, I'm not joking, pulling grass out of her backyard with her hands.
Sounds very Katie-esque.
It doesn't it?
Yes.
Why is she doing that?
Because she's a whack job.
Oh,
that's
good
why.
reason.
Because she can't relax. I always tell my daughter, you got to chill. Katie is the epitome of you got to chill. She will set these projects up for herself. And if she's not in this tornado of things I got to do, she's not comfortable. She can't I can't imagine what she's like on vacation.
Is she ADHD? I mean that, and I'm asking.
No,
literally.
I don't. I think there's something there. She's just one of those people. She gets it from her dad. She's one of those people that just can't slow down ever. I think she might be joining us in Las Vegas, by the way.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, rumors there. We'll see.
Okay.
We'll see. I still got to talk to her representation and all
Yeah,
that.
there's a whole, it's a whole thing.
It's a whole thing. With
That's
her.
her daughter, by the way.
Yes, it is. That's who runs the show. Over the last 3 weeks, Shohei Ohtani, remember, he got off to a tough start. He has put up 2.5 wins above replacement. Now, unless you're a nerd like you don't know, that's the single best pitcher number in baseball and the 15th most productive offensive player. It's insane the numbers he's putting
Now you're
up.
calling him just a pitcher.
And the
Just a
15th best
pitcher.
offensive player. When you look at the AL right now, wins above replacement for the year, it's pretty crazy. Rafael Levers with Boston 4.1, Judge 4.0, tied with
All
Ohtani.
rise!
Judge, Ohtani, and Trout at 4.0, Jose Ramirez 3.9. The guy's tuning out now because of the song, by the way.
I'm just tuning right in.
And
this is like my favorite part of the show.
Love this song.
yeah, I'm a huge fan, by the way. By the way, on the Disney Wish Cruise, they're calling it. I'm a Star Wars guy. There is a drink called the Kyber Crystal. Now, those are the crystals, as you all know, that lightsabers are made out of.
Of course.
I don't know what's in it, but I can tell you that on this cruise, staterooms start at $2,000 for 2 people, with rooms as expensive as $10,000. This drink is $5,000.
Oh, I'd get 2.
I mean, if for $5,000, you better get a cameo in like one of the shows. Anyways,
You get free Disney Plus.
we'll be back tomorrow with all the Kings free agent news. It'll be a short segment. Cattles and Rami on at 3 to keep you up to date as well. For Jason, for Jay, I'm Dave. Jim Rome is next. Bye now.
You wanted more